Welcome back. We're here in the 10 on 10 lounge and we're talking about Into the Woods, which is about a baker and his wife who go on a quest to begin a family when a witch interferes and places a curse on them. They interact with many fairy tale characters like Rapunzel, Jack and the Beanstalk, and more as they try to reverse the curse. Our guest today is Sally Perry, who is one of the directors of Into the Woods and a part of Community Players Theater in Bloomington. Thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about the musical and kind of what goes on into making the process and just the play in general.
Okay, well, we'll start a little bit about the play. It's music and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim, who is probably the best-known music and lyricist today. And it's kind of a mashup of a lot of fairy tales. So you were mentioning Jack and the Beanstalk, Rapunzel. There's also Cinderella. There are a number of fairy tales, and they all meet in this enchanted woods. The witch has put a curse on the baker and his wife for the baker's father stealing some beans a ways back, and so all of the characters are walking through the woods trying to figure out how to solve their problems. And so they run into each other, they solve some problems together, they try and fight the giant that from Jack and the Beanstalk. And so the first act is really interesting because it takes those stories and works out to the happily ever after. What's really interesting is the second act, because it's what happens after the happily ever after, and it's not quite so happy.
Oh, okay, okay. So once again, how did the process go, the pre-process of kind of putting this together? Because that sounds like a lot.
It is. Community Players has been around for close to 100 years now. It's one of the oldest community theaters in the country, and we tend to do 5 to 6 shows every year. This is our second musical of the season, and so about usually 6 to 8 weeks out, we have auditions for people to come out and try out for the various parts. We have an accompanist, people sing a song, they read lines, and then I meet with my production crew, which includes an assistant director, a choreographer, my 2 producers, my costume person, and so forth, and we talk about who would be best. And the auditions go over 3 nights, and we invite some people back to read again, or because we want to hear something else that they have to say. For this production, we had 75 people try out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which was a lot, and the cast is only 22, so we had a lot lot decisions to make.
And how would you say the cast chemistry is throughout?
It's terrific. I mean, it's you know, a lot of casts, they're kind of a family. This is a very big family, and people will bring in treats like Rapunzel's prince, his birthday was last night, so we're all going to sing happy birthday tonight. Somebody's bringing in a cake and that sort of thing. Last week for their cast gift, they each got a little stuffed wolf because there's a wolf that preys on Little Red Riding Hood during the course of the show. So it's been very nice. We also have a Facebook page where we exchange information about what's going on, or to remind people. Well, today I sent a reminder to say, go through your lines again, go through your music again, so their last weekend is good as well.
Right, yeah, that does sound like a little tight-knit little family that you guys kind of brought together.
It is.
Yeah. I guess, how would you say the audience is taking to the play?
The audience is very good. You know, interestingly, there are a lot of children who come to it because they hear fairy tales and, well, that sounds nice. It sounds, oh yeah, well, we'll take the kids to the fairy tales. You know, if kids are really like under 6 or 7, it's a little hard for them. Last weekend, we had a couple of little kids who had to leave during the second act because in the first act, you know, well, I don't want to give too much away. Something dies and is brought back to life because it's magic and it works out. In the second act, when people die, they're dead, and that's really sad.
And very quickly, just kind of tell me, when are the dates going to be?
Okay, so it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. So it's Friday and Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday at 2:30. The matinee is the last performance.
All right, and that's all we have for today. Thank you so much again for coming out.
Great, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Coming up on TV 10, it's a very fuzzy national holiday. We have more on what's trending after the break.